Hello, my name is Namir from Sawadee International School of Thai Massage, and I'd like to welcome you to the third of this series of small introductory videos which I've called The Other Thai Massage, which seek to introduce in a very simple way certain concepts of Thai massage as a part of Thai regional medicine, which is the medical traditions in and around outside of Bangkok, in Thailand, particularly of the Lanna tradition, but also most of the regional medicines, which are a little bit different from what is taught generally in the schools and what is favoured by the Thai government. So this is an alternative system which can be found, and I have found certainly to be much more methodical and rational and much more useful. I'd like to start off and say that I'm not an authority, I'm a student of traditional Thai medicine, but what I've learned from a very authoritative source who bases his understanding on initiation into the traditional medicine lines and has received the ancient texts and has permission to teach and has been in fact charged to teach this medicine outside of Thailand, to preserve it, because basically even under the influence of the Thai government, we could say that it's more difficult now to practice the traditional medicines than it has been in the past. So this is part of that effort to transfer, to awaken interest and curiosity in what the traditional medicines of Thailand have to say and how useful they can be. This talk is going to be about the concept of wind, long. A concept which is being, I consider, easily mistranslated, misunderstood due to issues of language and cultural concepts, world views, which can make an understanding or clear understanding perhaps more difficult. As we have seen from the concepts of energy channels, according to regional medicine, the energy channels are much more physical than is often portrayed by schools, particularly in the West. They are tendon, ligament, blood vessels, nerves, and sometimes the investing fascia where muscles attach to. And of course the channels are channels for what? They're channels for long, wind. And wind is also one of the four elements. However, meaning air, but if you take the concept of air is one thing and the wind blowing in the air is something else. So those are the Sen, and it's quite important to understand that is the view of the Sen and not some other concept. And then we look, well, if a nerve is Sen, or if a blood vessel is Sen, all blood vessels are Sen, then what is flowing through? Obviously, the blood vessel is made of the earth element. The blood itself is the water element, but water itself doesn't have the property of movement. That is, in fact, the property of wind. Wind is movement. So the blood or water element is flowing through the artery or the veins or the capillaries, doesn't matter, they're all over the place. But it is because there is wind blowing the blood along. And the same in the nerve, there's electrochemical conduction of nerve down the nerve. That is because the wind is, if you can say, the cause of it, or is actual the movement, the property of movement. So that is one definition of wind. It is actually movement. Now, without life, life is movement. Let's put it that way. And wind is that movement of life. But again, if you go to the concept of air and wind, if you're on a sailing boat and you are becalmed, there is no wind, then the sea is stopped. That's a natural property of water, is to be still. And of course, the boat made out of earth element is stopped. It's not going anywhere because there's no wind. Okay, so that makes everything quite clear. Tendons, obviously transfer movement through. They allow movement to happen. When you're contracting the bicep, which changes its shape and shortens, there's wind inside the bicep, and the tendon is a channel in that sense of transferring that movement, which is a kind of an expansion and contraction, in a linear way, to the bone, which then flexes or extends depending on which muscle is doing that. Other sen, for example, the investing fascia are necessary for movement, and they, in a certain sense, they anchor, also the ligaments, they anchor the body in order to allow movement, without them which there would be no movement. So sen is definitely linked to movement, to the ability to create and have movement in the body in all its different kinds. You wouldn't be far wrong to say, wind, long. Long is necessary for movement, but long is movement, and is what is also to say allows movement in the sense of ligaments that hold the bones, or the big linea alba fascia going down the front of the body where all the muscles attach. That is also, of course, that is a sen, and behind that is the aorta. The best definition would be to say wind is flow, it is motion. So that's a very clear, easy to understand and verifiable concept of sen. There's not much mystery there. You've got to be able to feel it. You've got to be able to feel it in all the body systems, which include lymph. You've got to feel it in the blood, in all sorts of things which are going on. Very subtle winds, very strong winds. But it's all very physical. It's a property of the natural world, just as we see outside. Traditional medicine is based on observation of nature and the belief that what happens in nature happens inside the body, and it's the same out there as it is in here. And so this is quite a clear picture. All right, I thank you very much, and good luck with your practice and your pathway.